Marcus stood in the rain, cardboard box in hand, watching as security escorted him from the building he'd called home for 7 years. The termination had been cold, impersonal, just another Tuesday for CEO Victoria Reeves. What Marcus didn't know was that in less than 24 hours, Victoria would be standing in his living room, her perfectly composed facade crumbling before his eyes. If you're enjoying this story, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more emotional workplace dramas that reveal the human side of corporate America. The dismissal had come without warning. Marcus Chen, senior product developer at Horizon Technologies, had been summoned to the executive floor at 4:30 p.m. He'd assumed it was about his latest innovation, a revolutionary accessibility feature he'd developed after watching his deaf niece struggle with technology. Instead, he found Victoria Reeves, the newly appointed CEO, flanked by HR representatives. "Your position has been eliminated in our restructuring," she'd said, not even looking up from her tablet. "Security will escort you to collect your belongings." 7 years of dedication dismissed in 17 words. Marcus had nodded numbly, too shocked to argue. As he packed his desk, colleagues averted their eyes, some from embarrassment, others from fear they might be next. The company had changed since Victoria took over 3 months ago. The collaborative culture had been replaced by cutthroat competition and paranoia. The rain soaked through his shirt as he walked to his car, the box growing heavier with each step. His phone buzzed, a text from his wife, Sophia. "How did the meeting go? Did they love your accessibility feature?" His throat tightened. Sophia had been his rock through countless late nights developing the feature. How could he tell her it was all for nothing? Victoria Reeves watched Marcus's departure from her corner office. Something about his dignified exit bothered her. Most employees begged, argued, or threatened legal action. Marcus had simply accepted his fate with a quiet grace that felt accusatory. She turned to her chief operating officer, Richard. "Tell me again why we cut Chen." Richard shuffled through papers. "Part of the redundancy plan. His department was overstaffed, and his projects weren't aligned with our new profit-focused direction." Victoria nodded, but a nagging doubt persisted. She'd been brought in to make Horizon profitable again, which meant tough decisions. Still, something about Marcus's file had caught her attention: impressive innovation metrics, glowing peer reviews, and a recent project labeled Personal Passion Initiative. "What was his latest project?" she asked. Richard shrugged. "Something about accessibility features. Not a priority market segment for us." Victoria frowned. "I want to see it before it's scrapped." That evening, Marcus sat at his kitchen table, trying to find words to tell Sophia about his termination. Their mortgage, Sophia's graduate school tuition, his mother's medical bills, all had been manageable with his Horizon salary. Now, uncertainty loomed. The front door opened, and Sophia entered, her smile fading as she saw his face. "What happened?" she asked, setting down her nursing textbooks. Marcus explained in halting sentences, watching her expression shift from shock to anger to determination. "We'll figure it out," she said, squeezing his hand. "Your talent won't go unrecognized for long." Later that night, after Sophia had fallen asleep, Marcus sat in their small home office, staring at his personal laptop. He opened the folder containing his accessibility project, months of work that would never see the light of day. The feature used AI to translate spoken words into sign language via an animated avatar, and vice versa, making digital communication seamless for the deaf community. He thought of his niece Lily's face when he'd shown her the prototype, her eyes lighting up as she realized she could video chat with her hearing friends without barriers. That moment had made every late night worth it. With a deep breath, he began transferring his work to a personal drive. Horizon might own the code, but they couldn't own the idea. He'd start over if necessary. Meanwhile, Victoria sat alone in her expansive penthouse, reviewing Marcus's project files. What she saw stunned her. The accessibility feature wasn't just innovative, it was revolutionary. Market analysis showed a potential user base of millions globally, with virtually no competition. More importantly, the testimonials from test users were emotional and powerful. A video showed a young deaf girl using the feature to speak with her grandmother for the first time without an interpreter. The joy on both their faces was unmistakable. Victoria had built her career on identifying market opportunities others missed. This wasn't just a charitable project, it was a potential game-changer that could position Horizon as an inclusive innovation leader while opening untapped markets. And she just fired its creator. She grabbed her phone and called Richard. The Chen termination, was it processed yet? Papers were signed this afternoon. Why? Victoria cursed under her breath. His project is brilliant. We need him back. Victoria, we can't just rehire him. The restructuring announcement goes out tomorrow. It would undermine your authority. She knew he was right. Her reputation as a decisive, unsentimental leader had earned her this position. Reversing a termination would appear weak. Fine. But I want his project files preserved. We'll assign another team. After hanging up, Victoria stared at her reflection in the window. When had she become someone who valued corporate optics over innovation? Over people? The woman who'd started as a passionate product developer 20 years ago seemed unrecognizable now. On impulse, she searched for Marcus's personnel file, finding his home address. She needed to see the project creator, to understand the mind behind this innovation. Perhaps she could offer him a consulting role, a compromise that would save face while keeping his talent. The next morning, Marcus awoke to Lily's video call. His niece's hands moved rapidly in excitement. Uncle Marcus. Mom says you can help with my science project now that you're not working. Marcus smiled despite his situation. His sister had obviously tried to put a positive spin on his unemployment. That's right, Lily. What's the project? As Lily explained her idea for demonstrating sound waves visually for her deaf classmates, Marcus felt a renewed sense of purpose. His work at Horizon had always been about making technology more human, more accessible. That mission hadn't changed just because his employment had. After breakfast, Marcus began updating his resume while researching companies with strong accessibility initiatives. He was so absorbed that the doorbell startled him. Opening the door, he froze. Victoria Reeves stood on his porch, looking decidedly less polished than she had in the termination meeting. Her designer suit was replaced by casual slacks and a blouse, her hair pulled back in a simple ponytail. Mr. Chen, she said, her confident tone at odds with her uncertain expression. May I come in? Bewildered, Marcus stepped aside. Victoria entered, taking in the modest home with its family photos and bookshelves overflowing with technical manuals and science fiction novels. I apologize for the intrusion, she said, standing awkwardly in his living room. I reviewed your accessibility project last night. Marcus tensed. If you're concerned about intellectual property. No, she interrupted. I'm here because I made a mistake. The admission hung in the air between them. Victoria Reeves, known throughout the industry for her unapologetic business decisions, had just acknowledged an error. Your project isn't just good, Mr. Chen. It's transformative. The potential market reach, the technological innovation, the human impact, it's exactly what Horizon should be developing. Marcus crossed his arms. Was developing. Until yesterday. Victoria nodded, accepting the rebuke. I'd like to offer you a position heading a new accessibility division. Full creative control, increased salary, and a dedicated team. Marcus stared at her, speechless. Then, unexpectedly, he laughed, a short, incredulous sound. You fired me less than 24 hours ago. Now you want me to come back and act like nothing happened? Victoria had anticipated anger, negotiation, even gloating. The quiet disappointment in his voice was worse. I understand your hesitation, she said. But this is a genuine opportunity to bring your vision to life on a larger scale then. It's not about the scale, Marcus interrupted. It's about values. Yesterday, you decided my work wasn't valuable because it didn't fit your profit-first vision. What happens next time you have a restructuring? Before Victoria could respond, the front door opened. Sophia entered, stopping short at the sight of the CEO. What's going on? She asked, looking between them. Marcus explained the unexpected visit and offer. Sophia's expression hardened. So you fired him without even understanding what he was working on, and now you want him back because you realized it might be profitable after all? Victoria flinched at the accurate assessment. It's more complicated than that. Is it? Sophia challenged. Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you only value people when they serve your bottom line. The room fell silent. Victoria had faced hostile boards and aggressive competitors, but this straightforward moral clarity left her without a practiced response. Finally, Marcus spoke. Why did you really come here, Ms. Reeves? You could have had HR call with this offer. The question caught Victoria off guard. Why had she come personally? The professional answer was to secure valuable talent. But standing in this warm home, facing the human cost of her decisions, the truth emerged. I wanted to see the person behind the innovation, she admitted. In the corporate world, it's easy to forget we're dealing with people, not just positions and functions. I've been making decisions based on spreadsheets for so long that I stopped seeing the humans affected by them. Her honesty surprised even herself. Marcus and Sophia exchanged glances. That's refreshingly self-aware, Sophia said, her tone softening slightly. Victoria continued, Horizon wasn't always like this. When I joined 20 years ago, it was about creating technology that improved lives. Somewhere along the way, maybe when we went public, maybe when I became focused on climbing the corporate ladder, that mission got lost. Marcus studied her. So what are you proposing? Beyond just rehiring me? Victoria took a deep breath. A course correction. Your accessibility project as the flagship of a renewed company mission. Technology that serves humanity, not just shareholders. She paused. But I need your help to make it happen. For the first time, Marcus saw vulnerability in the CEO's expression, a recognition that her expertise in cutting costs and maximizing profits wouldn't be enough for the transformation she was proposing. I have conditions, he said finally. Name them. The accessibility division reports directly to you, no middle management to dilute the vision. We hire people from the communities we're serving as consultants and testers. And anyone laid off in your restructuring gets first consideration for new positions. Victoria considered the terms. They were reasonable, even necessary for the authentic initiative she was envisioning. Agreed, she said. Anything else? Marcus glanced at Sophia, who gave him a subtle nod of encouragement. Yes. I want you to meet someone. The following weekend, Victoria found herself in a classroom at the School for the Deaf, surrounded by excited children. Lily, Marcus's niece, was demonstrating the accessibility feature to her classmates, their faces lighting up as they realized they could communicate with voice-activated devices that had previously been useless to them. Victoria watched as a young boy asked a virtual assistant a question in sign language, his expression of wonder when it responded correctly bringing unexpected tears to her eyes. Marcus appeared beside her. This is why I developed it, he said quietly. Not for market share or competitive advantage. For them. Victoria nodded, unable to speak past the lump in her throat. In her 20-year career, she'd forgotten this feeling, the pure satisfaction of creating something that genuinely improved lives. Thank you for showing me this, she said finally. This is just the beginning, Marcus replied. There are millions of people with disabilities who've been overlooked by the tech industry. Not just the deaf community, but people with visual impairments, motor limitations, cognitive differences, all with unique needs that technology could address. As they left the school, Victoria's mind raced with possibilities. We'll need to restructure differently than I planned. Focus on innovation rather than just cost-cutting. It won't be easy, Marcus warned. Shareholders expect quick returns. Let me worry about the shareholders, Victoria said with newfound determination. You focus on the innovation. Over the following months, Horizon Technologies underwent a transformation. The new accessibility division, led by Marcus, became the company's innovation center. Victoria faced skepticism from the board but held firm, presenting market analyses showing the untapped potential of accessible technology. The first product launch, the sign language interface Marcus had developed, received overwhelming positive press. Videos of deaf users communicating seamlessly with technology went viral. Competitors scrambled to catch up as Horizon established itself as the leader in accessible design. More importantly, the company culture shifted. Victoria instituted a policy requiring executives to regularly meet with users from diverse backgrounds, ensuring decisions were informed by real human needs rather than just financial projections. 1 year after Marcus's firing and rehiring, Horizon stock had increased by 40%. The accessibility division had expanded to include technologies for various disabilities, each development guided by the people it was designed to serve. At the company's annual meeting, Victoria stood before employees and shareholders, with Marcus beside her as the newly appointed Chief Innovation Officer. A year ago, I made what could have been the biggest mistake of my career, she began. I almost lost sight of what makes technology truly valuable, its ability to improve human lives. Thanks to one employee who never forgot that mission, Horizon has rediscovered its purpose. She glanced at Marcus, who nodded in acknowledgement. Moving forward, our success will be measured not just in profits, but in lives improved. Not just in market share, but in barriers removed. This is the new Horizon, where innovation serves humanity. The applause was thunderous. Later, in her office, Victoria looked out at the city below. Her assistant entered with a message. Marcus Chen is here with his family. They're inviting you to dinner to celebrate the 1-year anniversary of what they're calling, the follow home that changed everything. Victoria smiled, remembering her impulsive decision to drive to Marcus's house that day. How close she had come to missing this transformation, both of the company and herself. Tell them I'll be right down, she said. As she gathered her things, Victoria reflected on the lesson she'd learned. In the relentless pursuit of corporate success, it's easy to forget that behind every spreadsheet cell, every position, every budget line, there are human beings with ideas, passions, and potential waiting to be recognized. Sometimes, the most valuable asset isn't listed on any balance sheet. Sometimes, it's the courage to admit a mistake, follow it home, and find a better way forward. And that realization had left her, a CEO known for always having the last word, truly speechless.